Chapter 3271. Roar. Boom. Boom. The Demon Dragon Emperor let out a final roar above the Water Dragon Palace as his vitality vanished completely. You won't let me off. Wait and see. What do you mean? Are you still confident that you can survive? Wang Xian looked at the corpse of the Demon Dragon Emperor with glistening eyes. He waved his arm and kept the Demon Dragon Emperor's corpse. Ha ha ha, the Dragon King killed the Demon Dragon. We won. We won. The Dragon King is invincible. You even killed a rank 7 Demon Dragon. We won. We won. That's great. Excited voices came from the disciples of the Water Dragon Palace. They were thrilled to see the Dragon King killing the Demon Dragon Emperor. Great victory. Swish swish swish. The Sky Array Water Dragon King and the rest immediately came to the sky and looked at Wang Xian with excitement. Dragon King, are you alright? The Water Dragon King asked with concern. I'm fine. It's totally worth it to kill the Demon Dragon Emperor. Wang Xian smiled. Although he was severely injured this time, this injury was nothing compared to the harvest he would reap. However, this battle was indeed the most serious injury Wang Xian had ever suffered. He was almost half dead. If he were to rely on himself to absorb spiritual energy to recover, he would probably need tens of thousands of years. Even if he used divine herbs and elixirs to recover, it would still take a lot. This time, it's all thanks to the Dragon Palace. Without you, the Water Dragon Palace would have been annihilated. In the future, the Water Dragon Palace will be under the command of the Dragon Palace. The Water Dragon King said respectfully. Great. Wang Xian smiled. Dragon King, the 3 guys in the Dragon Palace have been dealt with. At this time, Enlai appeared and reported. Bring me into the Demon Dragon Dark World. The Demon Dragon Emperor shouldn't be completely annihilated. Wang Xian nodded his head in satisfaction and said. Huh. The Demon Dragon Emperor hasn't been annihilated. Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, the Water Dragon King was shocked. I'm just guessing that the Demon Dragon Emperor might have some treasure to resurrect himself before he died. Wang Xian guessed. Dark Ardent's figure disappeared from the side, but he quickly returned. Dragon King, let's go. Enlai and Wang Xian disappeared instantly. In the next moment, they entered the Demon Dragon's dark world. Outside, the Heavenly Array Water Dragon King and the others began to clean up the battlefield. Dragon King, this form of the Dragon Palace is really strange. Enlai and Wang Xian entered the Demonic Dragon Dark World. Looking around, Enlai asked curiously. The Demon Dragon's Dark World was somewhat similar, but also completely different. This space was similar to Xiaolan's Kuan Domain, a separate space. There were also some buildings of the Dragon Palace, such as the Dragon Field and the power of the Dragon Cave. However, the entrance to the Dark Demon Dragon world was below them. The higher they went, the closer they were to the center of the Dark Demon Dragon world. The demonic dragon bloodline subdued and destroyed the 3 great dragon palaces. There should be a lot of treasures inside. Let's go and check out the deepest part first. Wang Xian transformed into his human form. With a move, the 5 elements grindstone circled around him as he flew towards the sky. Gulp, gulp. At this moment, there was a huge pond behind the Dragon King Hall in the Dark Demon Dragon world. In the center of the pool was an incomparably deep black energy liquid. At this time, bubbles emerged from it, and a young demonic dragon emerged from it. Roar. Damn it, damn it. Luckily, I have the ancient demon pool, which allows me to revive. Dragon King, just you wait. The young demonic dragon looked hideous as he roared. This demonic dragon was the revived Demonic Dragon Emperor. At this moment, he was extremely weak and only had the aura of a divine king. This time, the Demonic Dragon Emperor had suffered a great loss. If he wanted to return to his peak, he would need at least a few 100 million years, or even more. Indeed, the Demonic Dragon Emperor, you have revived. However, just as the Demonic Dragon Emperor's expression changed drastically and he was thinking about what was going to happen next, a voice suddenly sounded. The Demonic Dragon Emperor's expression changed drastically, and his eyes were filled with fear. How did you get in? How did you get in? He quickly looked over and stared at Wang Xian and Enlai. He was on the verge of breaking down as he roared. The demonic dragon dark world was not a place that could be entered at will. He. Soul assimilation. Wang Xian ignored the despaired demonic dragon emperor. He waved his arm and performed the soul assimilation. Wang. A large amount of information entered Wang Xian's mind, and he closed his eyes slowly. Time passed slowly, and he slowly opened his eyes. There was a burning look in his eyes. Ancient demon pool, the ultimate treasure of the master of the demonic dragon dark world. It is a carnate spiritual treasure that can bring a person back to life. It can only be used once. After using it, the ancient demon pool will no longer have any effect on the person, but it will still be effective on others. Wang Xian looked at the ancient demon pool in front of him and murmured according to the memory in his mind. Treasures were divided into acquired and carnate. Acquired treasures corresponded to the supremacies of the universe. Acquired treasures were further divided into acquired spiritual treasures and acquired cardinal treasures. Some of the branches on the progenitor tree were classified according to the supremacies of the universe. Because of the existence of the progenitor tree, acquired spiritual treasures could also be upgraded to acquired cardinal treasures. Therefore, it was not divided into acquired and innate treasures. Whereas innate treasures corresponded to the universe sovereigns. A carnate spiritual treasure could allow a first-order universe sovereign to easily defeat an opponent of the same level without a carnate spiritual treasure. Every carnate spiritual treasure had a terrifying ability. The ancient demon pool was considered one of the top carnate spiritual treasures. Although it was not a combat type, its ability to resurrect was insane. It's a pity that it doesn't have much effect on me. I have the soul-returning wood at the sovereign level, so it will be useful for Enlai. Wang Xian thought to himself. If Enlai went far away, he could be resurrected in the ancient demon pool if he died. It was also a great guarantee for his life. Other than the most precious ancient demon pool, there are many other treasures in the demonic dragon dark world. According to the memory in his mind, he moved and immediately flew to the back of the ancient demon pool. That was the treasury of the demonic dragon emperor. Wang Xian opened the treasury and entered. He looked around, and his eyes sparkled. There were 3 acquired cardinal treasures of the metal attribute, 1 acquired cardinal treasure of the wind attribute, and 1 acquired cardinal treasure of the thunder attribute. These were obtained from the crimson gold battle dragon, the wind thunder divine dragon. In addition, there were 2 acquired cardinal treasures of the earth attribute, which the demonic dragon emperor had obtained by accident. According to the memory, there is a very powerful treasure in the deepest part of the treasury. It was left by the master of the demonic dragon dark world. Wang Xian continued to walk deeper into the treasury. There was a huge seal in the depths that sealed the item inside. Traces of white light leaked out. The reason why it was sealed was because it was a treasure of the light attribute. Angel wings, the wings of an angel at the universe sovereign level. Chapter 3272, Terrifying Gains on Wang. When Wang Xian opened the seal, the wings of the radiance angel appeared in front of him. The terrifying power of light instinctively rejected the demon dragon's dark world. This was an extremely powerful item that came from a pinnacle race, the angel wings. A terrifying pressure surged towards Wang Xian. Looking at the angel wings, Wang Xian felt extremely pressured. It's indeed a part of the universe ruler's body. Terrifying. Wang Xian clicked his tongue. The demon dragon emperor did not know how to use the angel wings after obtaining it. He was of the dark attribute and rejected the radiance angel wings. He did not dare to use it either. If the angel race found out, they would definitely snatch it away. The angel race was an existence comparable to the divine dragon race. This thing doesn't seem to be of much use to me. Wang Xian shook his head as he looked at it. The angel wings had been specially refined, and could no longer absorb dragon blood. Its only use was to create powerful supreme treasures. However, it was not easy to forge treasures. It might take tens of thousands of years to forge an acquired treasure. Useless. The treasures in the demon dragon dark world are indeed powerful and comparable to innate spiritual treasures. However, I can't use them. Wang Xian shook his head. Other than those acquired treasures, the rest were not of much use to him. Moreover, according to his memory, these were the treasures in the Demon Dragon Dark World. The rest were the treasures of the alternative dragons in the Demon Dragon Dark World. That was a terrifying amount of resources. How much can the Dragon Palace improve this time? Wang Xian's eyes shone and his face was filled with excitement. Over 10,000 corpses of universe supremacies and over 10 million corpses of void god emperors. In addition to the 4 dragon palaces and the dragon caves. Unimaginable. Especially the devouring dragon race. They would probably get a qualitative improvement this time. Wang Xian moved and came to the Dragon King Hall. He placed his palm on the dragon throne and sensed something. This was the control of the Demon Dragon Dark World. The Demon Dragon Emperor was dead. It was easy for him to control the Demon Dragon Dark World. Soon, Wang Xian had some control over the Demon Dragon Dark World. So strong. This Demon Dragon Dark World is stronger than the current Dragon Palace. I wonder if the devouring dragon can devour it. Wang Xian pursed his lips. The devouring dragon could naturally evolve by devouring the Dragon Palace, but it probably wouldn't be able to swallow a Dragon Palace of this level. Just the energy of the Dragon Palace was enough to kill the devouring dragon. Enlai, go to the other 3 Dragon Palaces, he ordered Enlai. Very quickly, they appeared in the Fire Dragon Palace. The treasures in the Fire Dragon Palace had already been taken by the Devil Dragon Emperor, so there were no treasures inside. However, there were still quite a number of god grass and god trees in the medicinal garden. In the middle of the Fire Dragon Palace, there was even a universe supremacy level dragon flame tree. When Wang Xian put it away, he was surprised to see the dragon flame tree and the boundless wood gradually fusing together. This increased the might of the boundless wood by a lot. This surprised him greatly. If I have enough powerful blazing god trees, will I be able to raise the unending wood to the universe ruler realm? Wang Xian exclaimed in surprise. Fire Dragon Palace, Crimson Gold Battle Dragon Palace, Tempest Thunder Divine Dragon Palace. Wang Xian went over and took control of them one by one. Devil Dragon Dark World and Fire Dragon Palace were dragon palaces built by Universe Dominator Divine Dragons. The Crimson Gold Battle Dragon Palace and Tempest Thunder Divine Dragon Palace were much weaker. This dragon palace should be able to be devoured by the devouring dragon. Whoosh! He moved and flew out of the dragon palace. Brother Wang Xian, these are some treasures that my father and mother asked me to give you. They can heal your injuries. Just as he came to the front of the Water Dragon Palace, Shui Linglong ran over with a smile, holding a large number of water attribute god grass and god fruits in her hands. There's no need. I've gotten a lot of treasures this time. You can use them for cultivation. Wang Xian shook his head and said with a smile. My father and mother want me to join the Dragon Palace. Brother Wang Xian, do you agree? Shui Linglong looked at him with flickering eyes and asked with slight anticipation. You want to join the Dragon Palace? Wang Xian was slightly taken aback. He pursed his lips and thought of the thoughts of the Water Dragon King and the Water Dragon Queen. There were only 3 purebred divine dragons in the Water Dragon Palace and Shui Linglong was their daughter. Naturally, they wanted to find a purebred divine dragon as a son-in-law. In addition, they wanted to strengthen their ties with the Dragon Palace. That's not a problem. Our Dragon Palace doesn't have a purebred Water Dragon Palace yet. Wang Xian thought for a while and agreed with a smile. That's great. Thank you, Brother Wang Xian. No, thank you, Dragon King, Shui Linglong said excitedly. All right, I still have some things to deal with. You can go and play first. Wang Xian looked at her and smiled. Dragon King. At this time, Tian Zhan and the rest rushed over excitedly. Dragon King, our harvest this time is very terrifying. After this upgrade, we can step into the chaotic continent directly. With our strength, it won't be a problem. Wang Xian nodded his head. He turned to Enlai and said, Enlai, bring the Sky Formation 8 Directions Devilish Shore and the rest to the Saint Wen clan. Annihilate the Saint Wen clan and raid their nest. Yes, Dragon King, Tian Zhan and the rest nodded. Subsequently, he informed Prime Minister Turtle to send all the treasures here to the Dragon Palace. The great battle gradually came to an end. In the final battle of the Divine Dragon lineage, the Water Dragon Palace and the Dragon Palace defeated the Devil Dragon lineage and the Fire Dragon Palace. 3 major dragon palaces were annihilated. Who would have thought that the Dragon Palace and the Water Dragon Palace would win this battle? I heard that the Devil Dragon lineage and the Fire Dragon Palace were all killed. SSS, I heard that the Dragon Palace is very powerful, especially the Dragon King. In the future, the Dragon Palace will rise completely. With their current strength, they can totally land on the chaotic continent. Now that the Dragon Palace and the Water Dragon Palace have annihilated the Devil Dragon lineage, the Fire Dragon Palace and the Crimson Gold Battle Dragon Palace, they have absorbed a large amount of resources. I reckon they can get another upgrade. Their strength can be ranked in the Continental Encirclement Starry Sky. The Shungwen clan has also been annihilated by the Dragon Palace. The strength of the Dragon Palace is too terrifying. All the forces in the Continental Encirclement Starry Sky were paying attention to the battle of the Divine Dragon lineage. In particular, those powerful forces who had the power to land on the chaotic continent were also paying attention. After all, the winner of this battle would be their opponent in the future. But when some results came out, it still shocked countless people. In particular, all the universe supremacies of the Devil Dragon lineage, the Fire Dragon Palace and the Shungwen clan were annihilated. What kind of strength could annihilate all the universe supremacies? Although the forces did not know the specific situation of the battle, they were all shocked. Chapter 3273, Terrifying Gains Below Dragon King, all the resources have been collected. Sky Array Dark Blaze 8 branches has annihilated the Saint Wen clan. Large amounts of Cosmos God nations and treasures have been collected. On the 5th day after the war, Prime Minister Turtle came to the Dragon King Hall to report. How is the handling of the treasures? Wang Xian sat on the dragon throne and asked with a smile. Dragon King, everything has been placed in the Dragon Palace treasury. The other half of the corpses have been turned into dragon blood and filled the entire dragon transformation pool. Some divine grass and trees have been planted in the medicinal garden. The other few thousand god nations are also around the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Turtle's face shone with excitement. The gains of the Dragon Palace were too huge. All the treasures of the Devil Dragon lineage, Fire Dragon Palace, Wind Thunder Dragon lineage, and Crimson Gold Battle Dragon lineage had been obtained by the Dragon Palace. Apart from that, all the treasures of the Saint Wen clan. This was the 4 Great Divine Dragon lineage, a powerful mid-grade race. Their billions of years of foundation was too huge for the Dragon Palace. Just the Cosmos God nations and dragon caves that the Dragon Palace had obtained were enough for 7,000 to 8,000 devouring dragons to reach the Universe Paragon realm. Moreover, these were not ordinary Universe Paragons. As for Aosier and the rest who had devoured the Wind Thunder Dragon Palace and Crimson Gold Battle Dragon Palace, Wang Xian did not dare to imagine how much stronger they would become. I'll go take a look, he said to Prime Minister Turtle and appeared in the treasury of the Dragon Palace in the next moment. At this moment, there were many treasures piled up in the treasury. There were all sorts of divine weapons, spiritual treasures, and all sorts of powerful offensive equipment. There were also some extremely strange things. There were hundreds of thousands of years' worth of items in the treasury. Every item was at least a 7th-order Void God Emperor. The number of acquired spiritual treasures had reached more than 100. There were even some innate spiritual treasures and acquired spiritual treasures. Wang Xian was full of smiles. In the next moment, he appeared in the medicinal garden of the Dragon Palace. Within the medicinal garden, there were all sorts of divine grass and trees planted. With a glance, there were over 10,000 stalks of universe paragons. Some of the divine grass and trees had matured while others had not. Surrounding the Dragon Palace were the god countries of the universe venerables, each of them exuding a mighty aura. These god countries were created by a universe paragon at a huge cost. Apart from these god nations, there were also 4 enormous dragon palaces. At this moment, millions of devouring dragons were devouring the god nations of the 4 dragon palaces. The number of god nations in the 4 dragon palaces had reached 40 to 50 million. of which, there were more than 10 million at the Void God Emperor level. Compared to the number of god nations, the number of devouring dragons was much smaller. This time, Roving Crab was prepared to breed another 1 million devouring dragons. Summon all the disciples of Dragon Palace and start the comprehensive upgrade. Wang Xian returned to the Dragon King Hall and instructed Prime Minister Turtle. It's Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle immediately went to give the order. The resources this time are enough for me to improve again. Wang Xian watched Prime Minister Turtle leave. With a wave of his arm, a large number of treasures appeared in the main hall. The 4 divine dragon lineages had all obtained fortuitous encounters from powerful divine dragons, so they had more treasures than the Saint Wen clan. The treasures of the 5 powerful mid-level races in the universe were all gathered here. This was enough to enhance Wang Xian's strength. He did not break through immediately. Instead, he gathered all the powerful treasures together. 132 acquired spiritual treasures, 21 acquired cardinal treasures, the innate spiritual treasure ancient demon pool, and the angel wings that were comparable to innate spiritual treasures. When these treasures were gathered together, they gave off a majestic aura. Wang Xian moved his palm and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. There's no need to devour the 5 elements grindstone, but the 13 acquired cardinal treasures of the 5 elements can be devoured. Wang Xian murmured as he looked at the ancient demon pool and the angel wings. These 2 treasures were too powerful. It would be best if they could be converted into combat power. I still have 2 avatars of the light and darkness attributes. They have been cultivating in seclusion. After my yin-yang dragon board condensed, it's getting harder and harder to keep up with my strength. Can I use the treasures of the light and darkness attributes to create a substantial yin-yang dragon board? Just like the 5 elements grindstone, I can use the light and darkness avatars as the foundation. Wang Xian guessed. However, the 5 elements grindstone would grow step by step. It would be extremely difficult to merge the ancient demon pool and the angel wings into one. I have the heart of light and darkness. I can give it a try. He thought to himself and put this plan aside for the time being. As he waved his arm, a few corpses appeared beside him. The corpses of the 3 divine dragons were the Fire Dragon Master, the Devil Dragon King, and the Devil Dragon Emperor. Back then, Wang Xian used the dragon soul of the Sky Sea Dragon King and the dragon bone of the Golden Dragon to give birth to an existence like Ao Jin. Could he use the corpses of the Fire Dragon Master, the Devil Dragon Emperor, and the Devil Dragon King, and the souls of the members of the Dragon Palace who died in battle to create the Fire Divine Dragon and the Devil Dragon? He thought to himself as he looked at the soul-returning branch on the progenitor tree. The soul-returning branch was densely packed with souls. Although the Dragon Palace had won this battle, it did not mean that there were no casualties. Out of the 4,000 universe venerables who participated, about 500 died. It was not a lot, but it was not little either. There were many rank 4 universe venerables among them. I can give it a try. As Wang Xian spoke, he moved and brought the souls of the 3 rank 4 universe venerables and the bodies of the Devil Dragon Emperor and the rest into the Dragon Transformation Pool. At this moment, the Dragon Transformation Pool was filled with dragon blood. In the Dragon Transformation Pool, the first batch of 500,000 Dragon Palace disciples were absorbing the dragon blood rapidly. Wang Xian waved his arm and threw the corpses of the Devil Dragon Emperor, Devil Dragon King, and Fire Dragon Master into the Dragon Transformation Pool. At the same time, he threw the 3 souls in. He used the power of the Dragon Transformation Pool to heal the 3 divine dragon corpses and fuse the souls with them completely. It should work, Wang Xian said. At least according to his estimation, the success rate was 80%. Prime Minister Turtle, keep an eye on it. Wang Xian told Prime Minister Turtle to keep an eye on the situation. Then he moved and returned to the Dragon Palace. It's time to upgrade. Looking at the large number of treasures in front of him, as well as the various divine elixirs and mature divine fruits in his mother nest, he smiled. After this upgrade, he would have the combat power of a rank 8 universe venerable. With such strength, he would be invincible in the surrounding starry sky. Only an advanced race in the universe would have such experts. After the upgrade, The Dragon Palace would also have the strength of an advanced race in the universe. Chapter 3274, Breaking Through and Creating the Tai Chi Dragon Plate. Buzz buzz buzz. In the Dragon Palace in the galaxy starry sky, all the members of the Dragon Palace were cultivating. Within the Dragon King Hall, Wang Xian was similarly devouring large amounts of elixir pills and divine herbs. One by one, the elixir pills entered his stomach and were quickly converted into dragon energy. Time passed little by little. The dragon energy in Wang Xian's body was also increasing rapidly. His dragon body was also slowly growing. The huge dragon body gradually grew to about 70,000 meters. Every dragon scale emitted a dazzling light and an immense dragon might. Ding! Congratulations to host for leveling up and breaking through to rank 2 Universe Venerable. Ding! Congratulations to host for leveling up to level 2 Universe Venerable. You have comprehended the nomological Dharma, 8 Dragon Doppelganger. When Wang Xian's aura reached a critical point, a horrifying dragon aura swept across the surroundings. The system's voice could be heard at any time. He broke through. Name, Wang Xian race, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Dragon, one with the dragon, level, Universe 2nd Order, Divine Dragon Transformation 9th Transformation, Origin, 1%, 99% required for next breakthrough, Magic, Dominate the aquatic creatures, dominate any aquatic creatures lower than your own level, devour living things to extract the source, control of the 5 elements cultivation technique, Divine Dragon Transformation Divine Powers, Soul Capture, Spirit Attachment Nomological. Divine Abilities, Dragon Eye Lock, 5 Elements Dragon Claw, Yin-Yang World Breaker, 8 Luminaries Dragon Scale, Holy Dragon Shadow, 8 Divisions of the Heavenly Dragon, Dragon Tomb, Soaring Cloud Dragon, True Dragon Bodhidharma Form, 5 Elements Grindstone, Dragon Country in the Palm, Dragon Head Descending, 10,000-mile Dragon Body, Yin-Yang Polarity, Yin-Yang 5 Elemental Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Whip, Dharma Idol, Octagonal Dragon Pillar Law of Mastery, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light, Dark Wind Divine Kingdom, Dragon Palace Possess Dragon Palace, Acquired. Dragon Palace Members, 113450. A smile appeared on his face as he looked at the attributes in his mind. Universe Level 2, after this upgrade, he would have the combat power of a Universe Level 8. There are also many divine herbs and pills. The harvest this time is really huge. Looking at the remaining resources ahead, Wang Xian's eyes flickered. After the breakthrough, there were still half of the divine herbs and elixirs left. One could imagine how huge the harvest this time was. However, the remaining resources were not enough for him to level up. Next, I'll have to upgrade the 5 Elements Grindstone. With a flick of his palm, the 5 Elements Grindstone appeared in his hand. Following which, postnatal cardinal treasures floated above the 5 Elements Grindstone. As the 5 Elements Grindstone revolved, it began to rapidly absorb the acquired treasures. The 5 Elements Grindstone should be able to raise its grade by 1 or 2 with 13 acquired treasures of the 5 elements. After the 5 Elements Grindstone devoured it, he took the ancient demonic pool, the angel wings, and the radiant sacred lotus. This was the Saint Wen clan's supreme treasure, a light-attributed treasure. Apart from these, there were also 2 magic dragon pearls, a skull, and a darkness-type armor. Whoosh whoosh. At this moment, 2 figures flew over quickly. These were his light and darkness avatars. Back on Earth, due to the dragon veins and dragon blood, as well as the great changes in the world, the 9 clones were formed. They were divided into 9 different elements. 5 clones were on the great grindstone of 5 elements, 2 were inside the unbeginning sacred wings, and the last 2. Let's give it a try. Let's hope it works. If it does, I'll have another powerful trump card. As he murmured, the 2 clones immediately turned into divine light and darkness dragons. They coiled together and formed a Tai Chi pattern. Whoosh whoosh. Wang Xian waved his arm and threw the radiant sacred lotus and a magic dragon pearl over. He took a look and saw that the 2 acquired cardinal treasures landed on the 2 clones. However, there was no reaction. The clones couldn't refine the powerful acquired cardinal treasures either. Wang Xian wasn't too surprised by this scene. Roar roar. He let out a deep roar and opened his mouth slowly. A beating heart flew out slowly. Heart of light and darkness. The heart of the light and darkness Dragon King, who was once the most elite in the divine dragon clan. This heart was also the reason why Wang Xian could control the attributes of light and darkness. The heart was a perfect fusion of light and darkness. With a thought, the heart of light and darkness began to revolve slowly. He moved his palm and threw the radiant sacred lotus and magic dragon pearl onto the heart of light and darkness. The heart of light and darkness flowed as light and darkness rotated continuously. Success or failure depends on this. Wang Xian focused his eyes and stared closely. At the side, the two clones shot out the energy of light and darkness. They formed a pattern of yin and yang tai kai. Wang. Above the heart of light and darkness, the sudden addition of the acquired cardinal treasures was crushed due to the circulation of the terrifying energy of light and darkness. Ka. Sounds of collapsing reverberated. The two enormous acquired cardinal treasures were gradually collapsing and being converted into the source of light and darkness. Roar. The two clones surrounded the heart of light and darkness immediately. The energy of light and darkness converted by the acquired cardinal treasures flowed into the bodies of the clones. This caused the aura of the two clones to become stronger and stronger. Wang Xian was pleasantly surprised when he saw this. He had succeeded. Using the energy of the heart of light and darkness to obliterate the acquired cardinal treasures, allowing the energy of the acquired cardinal treasures to flow into the bodies of the light and darkness doppelgangers. This heart of light and darkness is at least an inborn cardinal treasure. Wang Xian mumbled to himself with excitement in his eyes. The two acquired cardinal treasures were gradually obliterated and absorbed by the clones. Wang Xian continued to place the other darkness attribute acquired cardinal treasures on top. The energy of the two clones grew stronger and stronger. Due to the acquired cardinal treasures, their bodies gradually formed the shape of yin and yang tai kai. As for the two clones, they took the initiative to separate themselves from their bodies and formed a spirit-like existence, leading the power of the Tai Chi Dragon Board. 2 days later, when Wang Xian had obliterated all 5 acquired cardinal treasures, a Tai Chi Dragon Board that spanned 10,000 meters floated above the Dragon King Hall. The light and darkness dragons were located at the eye of the Tai Chi Dragon Board and let out a roar. Around level 5 universe supremacy. The power of the Tai Chi Dragon Board is around that of a level 5 universe supremacy. However, the Tai Chi Dragon Board focuses on defense, making it even more terrifying in terms of defense. Wang Xian could feel the power of the Tai Chi Dragon Board and his eyes shone. Continue. Next, I don't need the help of the heart of light and darkness. With the power of the Tai Chi Dragon Board and the strength of the light and darkness doppelgangers, I can use the Tai Chi Dragon Board to obliterate the light and darkness attribute treasures and absorb them. He mumbled to himself as he turned his attention to the angel wings. The Radiance Angel Wings of the Universe Lord level was comparable to a weaker inborn spiritual treasure. Once absorbed, the Tai Chi Dragon Board would be greatly enhanced. Wang Xian waved his arm and placed the angel wings on the Tai Chi Dragon Board. The Tai Chi Dragon Board rotated and began to absorb the energy. Hence, a shocking scene unfolded in the Dragon King Hall. The 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi Dragon Board were absorbing the powerful treasures and evolving rapidly. Chapter 3275. Due to unknown reasons, Sogu is unable to find this site today. Please remember this site's domain name, Sea of Books, and find your way home. Time passed day by day. Since the Divine Dragon Lineage War, the Dragon Palace and the Water Dragon Palace had won. A month had passed quickly. During this month, the periphery of the continental starry sky was much quieter. However, inside the continental starry sky, at the edge of the chaotic continent, something big was happening. Some forces were preparing for a landing battle. A landing battle was a battle between races, and it was a battle between at least mid-level races in the universe. The landing battle would happen once every few decades or even a century. This frequency was already very high. After all, tens of millions of experts participated in each battle, and the more tragic battles involved hundreds of millions or even billions. The Dragon Palace did not pay much attention to what happened in the chaotic continent. During this month, the Dragon Palace did not have any contact with the outside world. It was all improving. I can't absorb the ancient demon's pool. The angel wings are soulless items. Although they are comparable to acquired cardinal treasures, they can still be absorbed. The ancient demon's pool is different. It is difficult to absorb. However, this is not bad. The defense of the yin-yang dragon board is terrifying enough. In the Dragon King Hall, Wang Xian looked at the two treasures floating in the air with a smile on his face. After absorbing more than a dozen acquired cardinal treasures, the 5 elements grindstone had reached the rank 8 universe supremacy. With the power of the 5 elements, it was not a problem to kill a rank 8 universe supremacy. As for the Tai Chi dragon board, after absorbing the power of light, it had become even more terrifying. Its defense could withstand the attack of a rank 9 universe supremacy. This was a universe level 9 venerable. In other words, a universe level 9 venerable would not be able to do anything to him. Under the effect of the Tai Chi dragon coiling yin and yang, his defensive power was exceptionally terrifying. Wang Xian moved his palm and the 5 elements grindstone entered his body. The Tai Chi dragon board rotated around him and gradually became illusory. The 5 elements grindstone was responsible for attack, while the Tai Chi dragon board was responsible for defense. It was very easy for him to kill a rank 8 universe supremacy. However, it would be difficult to defeat a rank 9 universe supremacy. After all, his attack power was not enough. In addition to these 2 treasures, there was another powerful treasure. It was the ancient oil lamp. From the last battle with the Demon Dragon Emperor, one could see how terrifying this oil lamp was. Without the ancient oil lamp, it would be impossible for Wang Xian to win. However, the oil lamp required energy to turn on, and it consumed a lot of energy. There was no need to use it unless it was a matter of life or death. The oil lamp consumes too much energy. However, I did not expect that dragon blood could also be used as lamp oil. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. He poured a considerable amount of dragon blood into the oil lamp and absorbed it into his body. These were currently his 3 strongest treasures. Dragon King, other than Ao Xie and a few others, the rest of the members of the Dragon Palace have finished upgrading. At this moment, Prime Minister Turtle walked in and reported respectfully. "Oh, really? Let them gather in the dragon field." Wang Xian squinted his eyes and said immediately, "It's Dragon King." Prime Minister Turtle immediately replied. Whoosh. Soon, Wang Xian arrived at the dragon field. Millions of members of the Dragon Palace had already gathered there. Even some logistics personnel were there. His eyes flickered as he glanced around. "Greetings, Dragon King." All the members of the Dragon Palace greeted respectfully. "Dragon King, there are 40,000 universe paragons among the disciples of the Dragon Palace. The weakest among the disciples is a void 8th Order God Emperor." Prime Minister Turtle walked forward and reported. In addition, there are 20,000 universe paragons among Ao Xie and his group of devouring dragons. The weakest among them is a void 6th Order God Emperor. He continued to add. Great. Wang Xian squinted his eyes. The harvest this time was not only the 10,000 universe paragons' corpses. There were also over 10 million flood dragon corpses. There were only 1 million members in the Dragon Palace. They had absorbed the energy of millions of elites from the 3 great dragon palaces, giving birth to a large number of experts. Many First Order universe paragons were created from the corpses of void god emperors. As for the devouring dragons, Ao Xie and the rest were still devouring in the Crimson Gold Battle Dragon Palace and the Wind Thunder Divine Dragon Palace. This was definitely a feast for the devouring dragons. Even if Ao Xie gave birth to another million devouring dragons, the strength of the devouring dragons would still reach the 6th Order universe paragons and above. As for how strong Ao Xie could become, Wang Xian did not dare to guess. But it should not be any weaker than him. Within the Dragon Palace, there were over 60,000 universe paragons. Excluding Ao Xie, his subordinates, and Wang Xian, the strongest was Almor. He was also the Dragon Palace members who were resurrected using the corpse of the Devil Dragon Emperor. 3 purebred divine dragon corpses had been parasitized and resurrected by the members of the Dragon Palace. Other than Almor, there were the sixth-order universe paragons, Tianzhen, Xiaolan, and Ao Hua. As for the other Dragon Palace leaders, the group of purebred divine dragons were all fifth-order universe paragons. The current Dragon Palace had too few top-notch members, and there was even a gap. All members must not slack off. Soon, our Dragon Palace will head to the chaotic continent. That is the center of the universe, and the true battlefield. Wang Xian reminded. After the advancement of the Dragon Palace, they had the strength to step into the chaotic continent. And the chaotic continent was known as the Holy Land by all the races in the universe. If the Dragon Palace wanted to continue advancing, they would have to step into the chaotic continent. Yes, Dragon King, all the members of the Dragon Palace answered. Wang Xian nodded and looked at Prime Minister Turtle. Send someone to check out the situation at the chaotic continent. We have to be prepared to land in advance. Yes, Prime Minister Turtle answered immediately. Familiarize yourself with your strength and train well. Lei Yiming, come over here. Wang Xian instructed. He moved and came to the Dragon King Hall. Lei Yiming moved and flew towards the Dragon King Hall immediately. Dragon King. Lei Yiming came to the Dragon King Hall and greeted respectfully. About the remaining 27 lightning feathers, do you know where they are? Wang Xian asked directly. The lightning feathers were part of the unbeginning sacred wings on his back. Now that he had gathered all the wind attribute wings, there were only 27 lightning attribute wings left. To Wang Xian, the 5 unbeginning sacred wings were very powerful. If he could find the remaining 27 wings, he would be able to control 9 attributes. And Lei Yiming also knew about the remaining lightning feathers. He had told Wang Xian that they were in the hands of an expert from the chaotic continent. Dragon King, the remaining lightning feathers are in the hands of the Great Elder of the Thunderlight Advanced Race. He was the one who took away my lightning feathers back then. Lei Yiming reported immediately. Chapter 3276, Landing Battle Advanced Lightning Race? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow upon hearing Lei Yiming's words. What do you know about the lightning race? Dragon King, the Thunder Light race is not a human race. They were born in the thunderclouds of the chaotic continent when the heavens were opened. They are very powerful, and there are experts at the pinnacle of the universe supremacies in the race. As for their exact strength, I am not very clear. Lei Yiming reported immediately. Pinnacle universe supremacies? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow. All right, you may leave first. Yes. Lei Yiming nodded and left the Dragon King Hall. Wang Xian took out the Universe AI and checked the strength of the lightning race. A race that was born in the chaotic continent wasn't something those races that had to land in the chaotic continent could match up to. A race, with a Universe Venerable level 8, with 30,000 Universe Venerables, would be able to rise to become a high-level race. However, there was a huge gap between the advanced races. There were even some advanced races that had Universe Lord level combat power. Combat power and cultivation level were 2 different concepts. For example, Wang Xian was only a rank 2 Universe Supremacy, but he had rank 8 Universe Supremacy combat power. Of course, he was the only one in the universe to be able to surpass so many levels. Other than him, there were many creatures with special bloodlines and physiques that could surpass levels. For example, if an advanced race expert could surpass 2 levels, then when he reached the pinnacle universe supremacy, he would be able to match universe lords. However, they couldn't be rated as the top race in the universe. To step into the top race in the universe, one had to reach the universe lord level, not combat power. This resulted in a huge gap between the advanced races. Those that had universe lord level combat power and those that didn't were worlds apart. The lightning race wasn't strong among the advanced races, but they weren't weak either. I have to think of a way to get those 27 lightning feathers. Wang Xian pondered. He had a hunch that if he had 9 attributes, he would be able to improve tremendously. If he could even fuse all 9 attributes, that would be even more impressive. Hey! At this moment, Wang Xian, who was checking the Universe AI, suddenly saw a message. He raised an eyebrow. Landing battle. Over at the Continent Encirclement Galaxy, there were forces conducting landing battles. I can go take a look myself. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment and thought to himself. He was also very curious about the landing battle. For all the forces in Starry Sky, the landing battle was a huge challenge for a race, but it was also a huge opportunity. If they succeeded, they would be able to enter a whole new world. However, if they failed, they might be exterminated. The landing battle was exceptionally cruel. Even the Divine Dragon Bloodline's Fire Dragon Palace and Demonic Dragon Bloodline didn't recklessly attempt to land. Instead, they were accumulating their strength. Prime Minister Turtle, I'll leave the Dragon Palace to you. He transmitted his voice to the Turtle Minister. With a flash, he immediately headed outside. Crash! The unbeginning Saint wings unfurled. Now that Wang Xian had made a breakthrough in his strength, he could burst forth with the speed of a level 9 universe supremacy with the unbeginning Saint wings. He shuttled through the starry sky. Currently, there were only a few people in the surrounding starry sky that could clearly see his speed. However, the Star River starry sky was very far away from the Great Desolate Continent. Even with Wang Xian's speed, if he were to fly, he would still need a month's time. After arriving at the continent encirclement starry sky, he checked the route and hurried on with the teleportation array. Even so, it took him 10 days to arrive at the starry sky closest to the Great Desolate Continent. When he walked out of the teleportation array, he felt that the surroundings were bustling. Sweeping his gaze across, there were all kinds of creatures in the surrounding starry sky. Not only were there various kinds of humans, but there were also various kinds of beasts, plant-type creatures, element-type creatures, and even many mechanical and skeletal creatures. There were all kinds of forms and life forms existing. Other than the various kinds of creatures, there were also a large number of aircrafts. The entire starry sky was bustling. In the surroundings, there were no conflicts between the creatures. This was the border between the continent encirclement starry sky and the Great Desolate Continent. It was also the battlefield of the landing battle. The landing battle had yet to begin, but because of this battle, countless experts from various forces had gathered. It attracted the attention of countless people. To many experts from various races, this was a feast. The reason why no one rashly started a conflict was because there were too many experts here. It was possible that a fight between two creatures would incur the displeasure of an expert, who would kill you casually. Therefore, in this place, the unspoken rule was to not fight if possible. It's really lively. Sweeping my gaze across, there is one universe supremacy among 100 people. There are so many experts. Wang Xian looked around and sighed in his heart. The Star River starry sky could not be compared to this place. The Dragon Palace will be transferred here in the next few months. He thought to himself. The Dragon Palace would also be carrying out the landing battle soon. The Orthodox God races are finally going to carry out the landing battle. Currently, in our continent encirclement starry sky, the Orthodox God races are undoubtedly number 1 in terms of strength, but they have been dragging it out until now. I guess they want to choose a good grotto heaven, but I wonder which force the Orthodox God races will choose to challenge. Given the strength of the Orthodox God races, they should be able to land easily by choosing a marginal force. After all, the Orthodox God races have 2 rank 7 universe supremacies. At this moment, voices of discussion could be heard. Wang Xian's eyes lit up when he heard this. The Orthodox God races were now known as the strongest force in the continent encirclement starry sky. A universe venerable with a level 7 combat power had a strong foundation. The disciples of this race had very strong physiques, and they could fight 2 ranks higher than them. They were undoubtedly the kings of the continent encirclement starry sky. Given their strength, it would be very easy for them to step into the heaven-splitting chaotic continent. But obviously, they wanted to enter deeper into the heaven-splitting chaotic continent and occupy better grotto heaven and grotto heaven. There were rules for the landing battle, set by the peak races of the universe. Once the landing was successful and they entered the heaven-splitting chaotic continent, they would be protected for 2,000 years. Within 2,000 years, other forces could not attack them. Similarly, they could not attack other forces within 2,000 years. Of course, they could also choose not to be protected. In this case, the forces of the continent encirclement starry sky could continue to challenge them. This force could also attack other forces around it. This rule was only limited to the furthest edge of the heaven-splitting chaotic continent. Chapter 3277. The Great Desolate Continent had its own rules, which were set by experts and peak races. There were not many rules, but no one could violate them. Once a faction entered the Great Desolate Continent, it was forbidden for them to attack or plunder the forces outside the Great Desolate Continent. This was an iron law. It was also a form of protection that the stronger forces had for the weaker forces. It was also to ensure that there would be an endless stream of experts. If there was no such rule, the forces on this side of the continent encirclement starry sky might have long been annihilated. After all, many races could use the flesh and blood of other living beings to enhance themselves. The landing battle will begin in 10 days. I'll walk around here by myself first. Wang Xian muttered to himself as he looked at the information on the artificial intelligence. 10 days later, the righteous god races would be challenged. At present, the race that needed to be challenged had not been announced. Wang Xian was prepared to observe this battle and prepare for the landing battle at the Dragon Palace. Scanning his surroundings, Wang Xian flew towards the void ahead. This part of the starry sky was unusually lively because the landing battle was about to begin. Many huge continents were floating around, and some of them were even holding auctions. There were also some experts who took advantage of this time to set up stalls to trade their treasures. This made the surroundings look unusually prosperous. Wang Xian flew aimlessly to some of the continents to see if there were any treasures. He didn't feel bored even after walking for more than 10 hours. There were all kinds of items and all kinds of races. It was an eye-opener for him. Boom, boom, boom. More than 10 hours later, a powerful aura came over. Wang Xian sensed the aura and was taken aback. He looked to the side. This is the ancient sea race. His eyes flickered as he looked over. The ancient sea race was a famous race in the surrounding starry heavens. It was also the race with the most giant star beasts. They had over 100 star swan beasts. Over 100 space beasts. The weakest had the combat power of a rank 4 universe venerable. Because it was a giant star beast, its battle prowess was even more terrifying among its peers. The ancient sea races were second only to the righteous god races. They controlled 10 universe venerable rank 6 space beasts. Right now, in the continental encirclement starry heavens, the main god races ranked first, and the ancient sea races ranked second. Now, after the Water Dragon Palace and the Fire Dragon Palace annihilated the Demon Dragon lineage, the Dragon Palace's strength was ranked third by some people. The main reason was that no one had seen the exact situation of the war between the divine dragons. This was also because the strongest of the divine dragon lineage in the continent encircling starry sky was only a 5th order universe venerable. In Wang Xian's line of sight, 20 stellar beasts were dragging a humongous continent towards him. That continent was comparable to a star, and the smallest of the 20 space beasts was 100,000 meters long. They exuded a terrifying aura as they rushed over. Hey! The GU High Race is here. The GU High Race focuses on business. They should not give up on this opportunity. They will probably hold some auctions or auction off some items. TSK, TSK. Now that the ancient sea race is here, we can go over and see if there are any treasures. With the strength of the ancient sea race, they can also enter the Great Desolate Continent. Voices of discussion could be heard from the surrounding area. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly upon hearing this. According to the rules of the Great Desolate Continent, the forces that entered the Great Desolate Continent were forbidden from attacking the forces in the continent encircling starry sky. Similarly, the forces of the Great Desolate Continent were forbidden from conducting large-scale operations in the continent encircling starry sky. Otherwise, given their strength, they could completely suppress others. Therefore, once they entered the Great Desolate Continent, they were forbidden from doing business in the continent encircling starry sky. The ancient sea race mainly held auctions and sold all sorts of items. They had many assets in the continent encircling starry sky. If they entered the Great Desolate Continent, they would have to give up on these assets. And with their strength, entering the great desolate continent would only be the tail of a phoenix. They did not have the strength to do business. Therefore, they had not entered the continent encircling starry sky. Perhaps they would only consider entering the continent encircling starry sky after their race produced a seventh-order universe venerable. The ancient sea race has issued a notice on the universe AI. They will be holding an auction in 5 days. Brothers who want to auction off items can go to them, as expected. TSK, TSK, TSK. Let's go to the ancient sea race's continent. At this time, voices came from the surroundings again. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows. He hesitated for a moment before flying towards the ancient sea race's continent. The ancient sea race's continent was open to everyone. There were hotels, restaurants, and all sorts of entertainment and resting areas. There were also many markets and shops. If it's an auction, I can go take a look. I have many useless treasures with me. I can consider selling them and exchanging them for other resources. Wang Xian thought to himself. He did have many treasures now. Just the acquired spiritual treasures alone had many. Among them, many members of the acquired spiritual treasure Dragon Palace had no use for them. Therefore, he was prepared to sell them in exchange for other treasures or resources. With a flash, he flew towards the ancient sea race's continent. Not only him, but many people around him also flew towards the continent. Entering the ancient sea race's continent. Flying and fighting are prohibited. Otherwise, you will be killed. Wang Xian entered and heard a voice. He landed on the ground and took out the universe AI to check the map of the continent. Then, he quickly walked towards the center. TSK, TSK, this continent is really prosperous. Walking on the continent, he mumbled to himself as he looked at all sorts of entertainment and shops. When he arrived at a hotel, Wang Xian booked a room and prepared to rest here for the next few days. Subsequently, he walked towards the ancient sea auction house according to the map. The ancient sea auction house was extremely grand. This wasn't an auction house in a single room. Instead, it was an auction house formed by countless tiny mountains. The main peak was 100 meters in size. Surrounding it were hundreds of thousands of mountains that were only a dozen meters wide. From afar, these mountains looked like pillars with seats on them. The tiny mountains were hundreds of thousands of meters tall. The entire auction house occupied an area of about 1,000 square kilometers. It was enough for millions of people to bid at the same time. Wang Xian followed the instructions and arrived at the auction house. Our ancient sea auction house is the most reliable auction house in subcontinent encirclement starry sky. May I know what you would like to auction? A middle-aged man asked Wang Xian with a smile when he came to a cave. Chapter 3278, Arrogant Righteous God Domineering Gu Haizhong Auction Acquired Spiritual Treasures. Wang Xian looked at the middle-aged man and said. The Gu Hai race had a good reputation in the universe AI. He was prepared to sell some acquired spiritual treasures. This time, he had obtained more than 100 acquired spiritual treasures, which the members of the Dragon Palace would not be able to use for 20 to 30 years. Among them, there were a few acquired spiritual treasures with metal attributes, water attributes, and light attributes. However, he naturally could not auction all the acquired spiritual treasures. It was not that he could not sell them, but acquired spiritual treasures were already considered powerful treasures to the supremacies of the universe. Even an acquired spiritual treasure was enough for hundreds of supremacies to fight for it. After all, this time, the Dragon Palace had obtained more than 100 acquired spiritual treasures. This was the accumulation of the demonic dragon lineage, Fire Dragon Palace, Crimson Gold Battle Dragon, Tempest Divine Dragon lineage, and the Saint Wen clan. 4 powerful races and close to 20,000 supremacies of the universe only had 132 acquired spiritual treasures. This ratio was very low. One could imagine how precious acquired spiritual treasures were. This was only for those from the divine dragon lineage who had great opportunities. The other races had even fewer acquired spiritual treasures. Ha! Acquired spiritual treasures? The middle-aged man was slightly shocked when he heard Wang Xian. With a respectful expression, he said, "Sir, please wait for a moment." I'll invite our supervisor over. Sir, this way please. As he spoke, he brought Wang Xian to a place to sit down. Wang Xian nodded. Is this customer here to auction acquired spiritual treasures? Soon, a supremacy-level old man walked over and confirmed with Wang Xian. That's right. 5 acquired spiritual treasures. Wang Xian did not beat around the bush and took out the 5 acquired spiritual treasures. 3 were of the metal attribute and 2 of the light attribute. 5. Seeing the 5 acquired spiritual treasures, the old man from the GU high race was slightly stunned. His eyes were burning with excitement. Great. Thank you for your trust in the GU high race. The old man quickly said as he stared at the 5 acquired spiritual treasures. A single acquired soul treasure could be the finale treasure of this auction, let alone 5 of them. This customer, this is the proof of our GU high race's auction. Our GU high race will record a portion of this information into the universe's AI and be monitored by everyone in the universe. The old man from the GU high race handed over a jade token. Wang Xian nodded his head. Business mainly relied on credibility, especially this kind of auction house. If they didn't have credibility, no one would consign their items to them. As for the proof, the GU high race would send the auction proof of the bidders to the universe AI. Once GU high's race doesn't pay the auctioneer can directly expose it on the universe's AI. The GU high race was very strong. They would not go so far as to destroy their reputation over 5 acquired spirit treasures. Of course, it would be a different story if Wang Xian took out 20 to 30 of them at once. If you auction it at our GU high race auction house, we will take 5% of the auction price. Also, this customer, this is a seat at our auction house. We are giving it to you for free. The old man said enthusiastically. Those who could take out 5 acquired spiritual treasures at once were all people with great luck, and their strength was definitely not weak. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head in satisfaction before leaving. He strolled around the surroundings and looked at some shops. On this GU high race continent, there were all sorts of items for sale. Technology items, fantasy items, battle pets, mecha, and so on. Wang Xian strolled around and didn't find anything of use to him. Hence, he gave up. Currently, it was extremely rare to find treasures that were useful to him in this part of the starry sky. Wang Xian returned to the hotel and rested. In the next few days, other than strolling around occasionally, he read the information on the universe AI. As the battle of the orthodox god races got closer, the number of people in the surrounding starry sky also increased. And the number of people on the GU high race continent also increased. The hype for the auction that was going to be held in a few days was also growing. It was especially so when the GU high race auction house announced that at least 5 acquired spirit treasures would be auctioned at the auction. This attracted many experts. The orthodox god races are here. All the experts from the orthodox god races are here. On the 4th day, there was a sudden commotion outside and on the universe AI. Wang Xian opened the window of his room and was slightly stunned when he heard the commotion outside. He squinted his eyes and walked out of the room immediately. This is. He looked towards the starry sky outside. When he saw the orthodox god races, he revealed a shocked expression. The leader of the group was an incomparably huge statue, which was wearing armor. The entire statue was 100 kilometers in size. He had the appearance of a human with a wide face and was filled with majesty. However, his skin was golden. On the 2 sides of the statue that was 100 kilometers in size, there were over 10 similar statues that were about 50 kilometers in size. This was the combat body forged by the orthodox god races. The combat body was similar to the battle angel. The orthodox god races were a race with powerful physiques. Their powerful physiques allowed them to fight against those 2 levels higher. The divine dragon was a bloodline race. In the universe, there was a race with powerful physiques. They belonged to the peak races. That was the sage race. The sage body of the sage race could fight against those 3 levels higher. Comparable to the divine dragon, behind this group of combat bodies, there were millions of experts from the orthodox god races. The weakest among them was at the Void God Emperor realm. Their bodies were emitting golden radiance. And behind them, there were all sorts of war machines. Battleships, mechas, battleships, etc. There were hundreds of thousands of them. Hiss, is this the full strength of the Orthodox god races? Orthodox god combat bodies, so many of them. Didn't they say that the Orthodox god races only have 10 combat bodies? There should be a total of 30 of them. And the combat body in the middle is too horrifying. For this battle, the Orthodox god races have brought out all their trump cards and strength. This is too horrifying. The leading combat body has such a strong aura. It should not be any weaker than a rank 7 universe venerable. This time, the Orthodox god races are going to challenge any race in the chaotic continent. With such horrifying strength, the one being challenged will probably surrender directly, right? On the continent of the ancient sea race, everyone looked towards the distant starry sky. Looking at the legion of the Orthodox god races, their faces were filled with astonishment. They are indeed strong. Wang Xian looked over with his eyes shining. He could sense that there were more than 10,000 universe venerables. This might just be a portion of them. There might be more hidden in the dark. Wang Xian could sense that the leading Orthodox god combat body had the combat power of a rank 7 universe venerable. No wonder they are known as the strongest force in the continental encirclement starry sky. Wang Xian murmured. Chapter 3279. The resources of the Orthodox god races were extraordinary. They had powerful Orthodox god bodies and a large number of venerables in the universe. All of them are impressive. The ancient sea race is also very strong. Each of their giant beasts is terrifying. No wonder the Dragon Palace and Water Dragon Palace are only ranked 3rd even after annihilating the demonic dragon lineage and the Shengwen clan. Wang Xian murmured as he watched the experts from the Orthodox god races fly forward. Around them, countless people were looking at them in awe. I heard that the ancient sea race will be holding a large-scale auction tomorrow. There will be many acquired spiritual treasures for sale. At the same time, a dozen figures were standing on a canvas in the center of the Orthodox god races. A slopper-looking old man holding a wine pot asked as he took a sip of wine. I think so. According to their announcement on the Universe AI, there are already no less than 8 acquired treasures. A middle-aged man nodded. Let me ask what treasures they are. If there are treasures that we can use, we can make a trip there tomorrow. An old woman on the right said plainly. Haha, I have already sold all my belongings for some treasures for this battle. I don't have the money to participate in the auction. Old wine, you have quite a number of divine stones now. You can exchange them for combat strength, just in case. An old man with bulging muscles on the left said with a hearty laugh. That's what I was thinking. This time, we are challenging the giant mountain race with close combat strength. They are not weak. I still want to live for hundreds of millions of years. Hihi, let's ask if there are any treasures. If there are any good treasures, we can go and have a look tomorrow. The old man holding the wine pot said with a smile. I got the news. 7 acquired spiritual treasures, 1 with fire attribute, 1 with water attribute, and 2 with light attribute. None of them are useful to us. Besides, there are 3 gold attribute treasures. One of them is a gold attribute battle armor. TSK, this battle armor is very powerful. It's one of the best acquired spiritual treasures. Even I want to buy it. Soon, the old woman raised her eyebrows and said in surprise. Oh, there are 3 gold attribute treasures? And there is a gold attribute battle armor? Not bad, not bad. I'll go there tomorrow. The old man holding the flagon said, however, there are 3 metal elemental acquired spiritual treasures. I guess there will be quite a few people going. Haha, even if a lot of people go, many clansmen will give you face. The middle-aged man said with a smile. Haha, looks like this old face of mine is worth some money. The old man, who was the wine pot, laughed loudly. The group of cultivators from the Orthodox god clans continued forward. Half an hour later, they stopped in the void to reorganize themselves, ready to fight at any time. Although they were very strong, they did not dare to be careless when facing the races of the great desolate continent. The arrival of the righteous god clans caused a huge commotion. The entire starry sky was discussing the strength of the righteous god races. Time passed bit by bit, and a day passed in the blink of an eye. The next day was the day of the ancient sea races auction. The battle between the righteous god races had attracted nearly all the experts in the starry heavens. By the afternoon of the fifth day, the ancient sea race auction house announced that 8 acquired spirit treasures had been auctioned. 8 acquired spirit treasures had attracted countless experts to participate in this auction. In the morning, countless people flew towards the auction house. In the morning, Wang Xian also flew towards the auction house with many small mountains. When he arrived at the auction house, he took a jade token and went to a mountain close to the front. As the auctioneer of 5 acquired spiritual treasures, he naturally had to enjoy the best treatment. In the space of a few hundred square meters, there were some tables and chairs, as well as some delicacies. Wang Xian sat there, looked around, and waited quietly. Swish, swish, swish. In the surrounding area, many figures were flying towards them at high speed. Experts from different races formed groups of 3 to 5, and some even had hundreds of people in a group. The ones leading them were all universe supremacies. As Wang Xian looked around, those who stepped onto the mountain peaks were basically universe supremacies. One could imagine how many experts had been attracted by this battle. Wang Xian sat there and waited quietly. Experts from the orthodox god races are here. And there are quite a number of them. Are they here to participate in this auction? At this moment, a surprised voice was heard. Wang Xian looked over, and his eyes flickered. It was easy to recognize the people from the orthodox god races. Each of them was about 5 meters tall. They exuded a strong aura of blood and qi, giving off a strong impact. Some experts from the orthodox god races were even emitting golden radiance. They charged over, and the surrounding people immediately made way for them. Looking around, thousands of experts from the orthodox god races came to the first few mountain peaks, not far from where Wang Xian was. The arrival of the experts from the orthodox god races attracted everyone's attention. Most of the people were filled with respect. This was because the orthodox god races were likely to set foot on the chaotic continent. Wang Xian wasn't too concerned, and waited for the auction to begin. Half an hour later, a series of roars could be heard, accompanied by a barbaric power. Wang Xian looked over, and he was shocked. In the surroundings, 20 mastiffs of the starry sky were flying over from all directions, slowly surrounding the entire auction house. The huge galactic beasts swept their cold eyes across everyone. Swish, swish, swish. Just at this moment, the experts of the ancient sea race flew over and landed on the auction platform. 20 galactic beasts guarded the surroundings. How generous. Welcome to our ancient sea race auction. Haha, it's our honor. An old man in white stood in the middle of the auction stage, laughed heartily, and extended his arms. Everyone should be clear about the rules of our ancient sea race auction. The highest bidder wins. Bidders can choose to hide their identities, and our ancient sea race will ensure your safety. If anyone dares to cause trouble, we'll kill them. Of course, our ancient sea race values harmony. I'll cut to the chase. Let the auction begin. As the old man in white spoke, he clapped his hands. This time, our auction will be very grand. First, we'll start with an acquired spiritual treasure. As he spoke, a beautiful lady carried a box over. When the box was opened, a light-attributed acquired spiritual treasure was revealed. Starting with a heaven spiritual treasure. How generous. Haha, there must be many good items this time. Let's see if we can get anything. Chapter 3280. An acquired spiritual treasure. As the opening act caused many people to reveal excited expressions. Auctions with acquired soul treasures were very rare. If there was, then the items auctioned this time would definitely be very generous. The atmosphere in the auction house was instantly ignited. The first item is my auction item. Wang Xian looked at the first item with a smile. This was a light-attributed staff. To light-attributed universe supremacies, it was definitely a rare treasure. Especially for rank 1 or 2 universe supremacies. With this acquired soul treasure, they could easily crush others of the same level. The starting bid is 1 unit of Calamity Divine Stones. You can pay with elixirs and herbs of the same price. The Gu High Race's white-robed old man continued. Calamity divine stones represented time, and also represented a unit of measurement. 1 unit of Calamity divine stones was equivalent to the divine stones produced by a peak-grade planet over 6 billion years. 1 unit of Calamity divine stones can buy divine herbs and elixirs. This can increase the combat power of a rank 5 universe supremacy. Wang Xian muttered. This was a very generous amount of resources. 1 unit of Calamity divine stones. 1 unit of Calamity divine stones. As Wang Xian was thinking, the auction had already started. The light-attributed universe supremacies all raised their bids with burning eyes. Weapons at the level of acquired spiritual treasures were still very popular. There were hundreds of thousands of universe supremacies present at this auction. Among them, there were many light-attributed ones. The intense competition had begun. Acquired soul treasures were very precious in the continental encirclement galaxy. To some of the smaller universe races, an acquired soul treasure was their clan's treasure. And to the stronger races, acquired soul treasures were mostly heritage treasures. This light-attributed acquired soul treasure took a full 10 minutes to complete the auction. And the price reached 8 units of Calamity divine stones. Finally, it was won by a butterfly-like demon race great demon. Not bad, not bad. 8 units of Calamity divine stones can increase the combat power of 8 rank 5 universe supremacies. Wang Xian was very satisfied with the price. He had auctioned 5 acquired soul treasures. If he used these resources, he could increase the combat power of 3 to 4 rank 6 universe supremacies. Currently, Dragon Palace lacked high-end combat power. I'll find an opportunity to sell the rest of the acquired soul treasures, he murmured. Then, the auction continued, but compared to the first item, the price of the next item was much lower. One by one, the items were auctioned off. Wang Xian looked around, but there was nothing that caught his eye. Based on the information from the Gu High Race, acquired spirit treasures are trump cards. In that case, they probably do not have any treasures that they can use. Furthermore, the chances of finding something good are even smaller. Wang Xian thought to himself. They were all powerhouses who had lived for hundreds of millions of years, and forces that had existed for billions of years. The chances of finding treasures here were close to 0. I want this golden robe. I hope everyone can give me some face. Towards the end of the auction, Wang Xian basically only took a glance before looking at the universe's AI. At this moment, a voice sounded, causing him to raise his eyebrows slightly and look over. Many people in the auction hall also looked toward the voice. The voice came from the foremost position. It came from the mouth of a level 1 universe venerable from a righteous god race. Since this brother from the righteous god race wants it, I won't fight with you for it. Another voice came from behind. A plant-type old man cupped his fists at the bidder from the righteous god race in front. Hehe, many thanks. The bidder from the righteous god race said plainly, lifting his head slightly. Congratulations to this friend from the righteous god race. Let's continue with the next item. The white-robed old man from the Gu High Race in front continued with a smile. Damn, I consigned this golden robe for auction, and now it's sold at a lower price than the market price. Shut up. If you don't want to die, stop talking nonsense. Let that guy from the righteous god race buy it. Let's not offend the righteous god race. They are going to land soon. If you provoke them, they won't care about the rules of the continental starry sky. They can't do anything even if they kill you. At this moment, Wang Xian vaguely heard a voice coming from a mountain peak behind him. He raised his eyebrows slightly and didn't pay much attention to it. The auction continued. 3 hours later, it was time for the finale items. 7 acquired soul treasures. The first finale item was still consigned by Wang Xian. It was also an acquired soul treasure of the light attribute. After a round of bidding, the price was 7. 5 level 2 divine stones. Wang Xian was still satisfied with it. The second finale item was an acquired soul treasure of the fire attribute. It was bid at 9 tribulation divine stones. This gave Wang Xian a rough understanding of acquired soul treasures. The price should be between 7 to 10 tribulation divine stones. The next item is a gold attribute acquired soul treasure, the golden all of the void. It's a horrifying, offensive spiritual treasure. The starting price is still 1 tribulation divine stone. Let's start the bidding. The white-robed old man said with a smile on the auction stage. 5 tribulation divine stones. Someone made a bid as soon as the auction started. Clearly, they understood that 3 or 4 tribulation divine stones would not be enough to get an acquired soul treasure. Therefore, some supremacies raised the price to 5 tribulation divine stones. 5 tribulation divine stones for 1 tribulation divine stone. I'm taking this acquired soul treasure. Please give me, Jin Zhengfa, some face. As soon as he finished his sentence, a beam of golden light shot up to the sky. His voice was loud and clear, reaching everyone's ears. However, what he said was extremely arrogant and domineering. 5 tribulation divine stones for 1 tribulation divine stone was way too low. One should know that 1 tribulation divine stone was a considerable amount of resources. The voice of the expert from an orthodox god race immediately made those who wanted to bid frown. The white-robed old man was slightly taken aback. He pursed his lips and did not say a word. The expert from an orthodox god race was so domineering that they could not do anything about it. Moreover, all the experts from the orthodox god race were not far away. When Wang Xian heard his bid, he frowned. He was the one who had consigned this acquired soul treasure. If he sold it for 5 tribulation divine stones, he would suffer a huge loss. Haha, in that case, thank you for letting me have it. However, in the next moment, the expert from an orthodox god race turned around, cupped his fists, and laughed heartily. He had decided the ownership of this gold attribute spiritual treasure in a domineering manner. All the experts in the auction saw the golden light on his body and felt his might. Although he only had the strength of a rank 4 universe supremacy, he did not say anything. No one dared to compete with him. This was also to show respect to the orthodox god race and to show their fear of them. Even the old man who had just raised the bid did not dare to raise the price again. All right, congratulations to the lord from the orthodox god race for obtaining this void golden all. On the auction stage, the white-robed old man from the Jiu High race hesitated for a while before he spoke with a smile. Huh. Wang Xian frowned slightly when he saw this. Chapter 3281, an acquired spiritual treasure, void golden all, was sold at 5. 1 tribulation divine stones. The next item is a water attribute acquired spiritual treasure. This time, we will start the bidding at 5 tribulation divine stones. At this time, the auction continued. Wang Xian took a sip of his tea without saying a word. The water attributed acquired spirit treasure was being auctioned off at 5 tribulation divine stones this time. Immediately, the universe supremacies started bidding. The price of this acquired spiritual treasure was rising rapidly. Soon, the price reached 8 tribulation divine stones. In the end, this water attribute acquired spiritual treasure was sold for 9.7 tribulation divine stones. It was the highest price among all the acquired spiritual treasures. In the auction of the ancient sea race, they would auction the acquired spiritual treasures in sequence according to their strength. Since the price of this acquired spiritual treasure was so high, the price of the next 2 acquired spiritual treasures would definitely not be low either. The price is quite high now. At the same time, dozens of middle-aged and old men were sitting on one of the mountain peaks in the middle of the auction. The old man holding the wine pot in the middle frowned slightly when he saw the price of the acquired spiritual treasure. He pursed his lips and smiled faintly. Hee, old wine, just now, Jin Zhengfa, that brat, used 5.1 tribulation god stones to obtain an acquired spiritual treasure. You can do it too. The old woman beside him said with a smile. That's right. Anyway, we will be entering the chaotic continent after today. Why should we care about other things? If anyone is not satisfied, we will just kill them. Hee. A middle-aged man behind him said plainly. Yeah, it's the owner's honor to have that treasure follow me. Ha. The old man holding the wine pot laughed and said. Old wine, I heard that a clan leader wants the next acquired spiritual treasure and wants to bid 5 tribulation divine stones for it. A middle-aged man said to the old man holding the wine pot after hearing the news from the neighboring mountain peak. I don't care what they want. Tell them that I want the last acquired spiritual treasure armor, the old man holding the wine pot said with a smile. All right, I'll inform them. Elder Jew, no one will compete with you for this. The middle-aged man said with a smile. Gulp. The old man holding the wine pot smiled and took a sip of wine, his face full of smiles. Since they had decided to take this acquired spiritual treasure, no one would compete with them. All right, the next item is the second last acquired spiritual treasure. It's also a metal attribute acquired spiritual treasure, a glove-type spiritual treasure. The starting price is 5 tribulation godstones. At this moment, the ancient high race's white-clad old man smiled at the acquired spirit treasure that he brought over. 5 calamity godstones, this acquired spiritual treasure is mine. Right after the GU high race's white-clad old man spoke, an old man on a mountain peak near the auction platform stood up indifferently and said in an unquestionable tone, "Let's go." His words caused everyone to be slightly stunned again. One of the experts from the righteous gods has made another move. They still want to buy it at a low price. The righteous gods are too powerful. They don't care about the feelings of others at all. Obviously, the righteous gods think they are going to enter the chaotic continent. Therefore, they don't care about their status. I guess they will attack anyone who dares to compete with them. That's possible. After all, they are too powerful. We'd better not compete with them. However, I'm afraid the consignor is going to be in trouble. In the auction hall, everyone was shocked when they saw the expert from the righteous gods making a move. They discussed softly. No one dared to compete with them. Seeing this, Wang Xian squinted his eyes. Are they going to bid at a low price again? This caused his gaze to slowly turn cold. If no one is bidding for it, congratulations to this expert from the righteous gods. The ancient high race's white-clad old man smiled and said decisively, selling it at 5 calamity god stones? The consignor is going to suffer a great loss. The people from the righteous gods are too much. They are too much. The figure who sold the golden woven clothes said furiously. When Wang Xian saw Jiu Hai's tribe calming down once again, he stood up slowly. Ancient high race, is this your auction hall? I didn't say anything when I sold a metal attribute acquired spiritual treasure at a low price. Now, you are bidding for this acquired spiritual treasure at the same price? Do you think I, the consignor, can be easily bullied? He stood up, stared at the white-clad old man on the auction stage, and questioned him expressionlessly. Wang Xian stood up suddenly. His questioning voice reverberated throughout the auction hall, shocking everyone. That person is the consignor of the acquired spiritual treasure. That item just now was also his. The bidder is here, and he even questioned us directly. In the auction hall, everyone's eyes fell on Wang Xian with flickering eyes. Now, the consignor was displeased. Moreover, they hadn't expected that the metal attribute acquired spiritual treasure from before would also belong to him. The ancient high race's white-clad old man on the stage was taken aback. Subsequently, he smiled. My friend, our ancient high race auction hall is conducting the auction according to the rules. If no one is bidding, we will make the deal at the final price. Our ancient high race is not at fault. The ancient high race's white-clad old man replied plainly. Just like what he said, the ancient high race did not violate the rules. It was just that no one dared to increase the bid. What has this got to do with us? Although his words were reasonable, everyone knew that they were trying to shirk responsibility. Oh, is that so? In that case, I won't be selling the acquired spiritual treasure that I consigned. Wang Xian said plainly. This is against the rules. The auction has already started, and it's not a place where you can simply take back your consigned item. Otherwise, how are we going to conduct the auction? The white-clad old man said with a smile. Oh, if that's the case, I'll increase the bid myself. Now, I'm auctioning this item for 10 calamity divine stones. Wang Xian cracked a smile and looked a little creepy. I'm sorry, The price for this acquired spiritual treasure has already been finalized. The white-clad old man shook his head and spoke with regret. Now, he knew that the ancient high race had offended this customer. However, there was nothing they could do. Between the orthodox god races and this customer, they naturally knew how to choose. Moreover, the ancient high race was also acting according to the rules of the auction. If they wanted to seek trouble, they would go to the orthodox god races and see how they would die. The white-clad old man smiled and wasn't worried that their reputation would be tarnished. Chapter 3282. Hey. Wang Xian chuckled when he heard the white-clad old man from the GU high race. You're very fast in finalizing the price. It only took you a few seconds to finalize the price. Wang Xian asked indifferently. That's the rule. If no one bids, we can just settle it. The white-clad old man shrugged as his eyes flickered as he swept his gaze across all the customers. Everyone, our GU high race has been established in the continental starry heavens for billions of years. We uphold the principle of giving priority to our customers. We will never harm our customers' interests. His voice rang in everyone's ears. Everyone present knew that although the GU high race was shameless, it was within the rules. The main reason was the experts from the orthodox god races. No one dared to compete with them. No one dared to compete with them. That person can be said to be unlucky. Some of the experts thought to themselves. Damn. I can't be that unlucky, right? We are already at the end, and this brat suddenly appeared. If he purposely raises the price, won't I have to increase the price? At this moment, the old man holding the wine flask on a mountain peak in front of the auction platform saw this scene. He could no longer sit still and immediately stood up. Old wine, the last acquired spiritual treasure might not be placed by that youth. Don't be anxious. You will bid later. If anyone dares to compete with you, just beat him up. An old man at the side said with a chuckle. Since they, the orthodox god races, were about to disembark, they could be more fearless. Next, we will start bidding for the last item, a metal attribute acquired spiritual treasure, a peak defensive acquired spiritual treasure. Similarly, the starting bid will be 5 tribulation divine stones. The voice of the white-clad old man continued to ring out from the auction platform. The auction continued. Damn. I want this treasure. Anyone who dares to compete with me will be going against me. The moment the white-clad old man from the GU high race finished speaking, the old man holding the wine flask stood up forcefully and roared. Compared to those people earlier, he was even more fearless. He even made it clear that anyone who dared to compete with him would be going against him. It looks like the metal attribute acquired spiritual treasure is going to end up in the hands of the orthodox god races. Everyone thought to themselves when they saw the expert from the upright god race roaring so arrogantly. This acquired spiritual treasure was also put up for auction by that young man. Hehe, I wonder how he will react. If he increases the price himself, I think that expert from the orthodox god clan will attack him directly. Let's see if that young man will court death or not. In any case, it has nothing to do with us. We will just earn a little less. It won't affect us much. If there really is a conflict, will we care? There's no need for that. The others can understand as well. What can we do when the righteous god races make a move? Hee. The old men of the ancient sea race chatted in the back. Although the upright god race had disrupted their auction, everything was still under their control. The profits this time would not be too small. Hee. These 3 metal-type acquired spiritual treasures were all consigned by me for auction. It seems like you orthodox god clans think that I'm easy to bully. Wang Xian watched as the auction continued. When the last item was taken out and the old man from an orthodox god race made a strong bid, he sneered and said, The 3 metal-type acquired spiritual treasures are all his. It seems like he has gotten a great opportunity. This is bad luck. He didn't even get the price of 2 of the 3 acquired spiritual treasures. This is a loss. What bad luck. Hee. When some people heard what Wang Xian said, they were shocked. Following which, they started discussing softly. If there's no more competition, this treasure will belong to me. However, the old man with the wine pot seemed to have not heard Wang Xian. He took a sip of wine and said, 15 calamity divine stones. I'll give you one last chance, Wang Xian said plainly when he heard him. Huh. He made a bid and raised the price to 15 calamity divine stones. This. When everyone heard Wang Xian's words, they were taken aback and were shocked. On the auction stage, the old man in white was also shocked and his eyes flickered. Don't give me face. Die. However, at the next moment, the old man from an orthodox god race who was about to drink wine heard Wang Xian and his face turned gloomy. He waved his arm and the wine pot in his hand emitted a golden radiance as it attacked Wang Xian. The sudden attack caused everyone to be slightly startled. Everyone, please calm down, the old man in white on the auction stage said plainly. He did not stop them. Of course, the ancient sea race did not have the strength to stop them. Ha. When Wang Xian saw the old man attacking him, he burst into laughter and a terrifying murderous aura burst out from his body. His figure moved and disappeared in an instant. In the next moment, he appeared beside the old man with the wine pot. You're courting death. I gave you a chance but you didn't cherish it. Then, all of you shall die. Wang Xian's chilling voice reached the ears of all the orthodox god races. The old man who had just thrown the wine pot sensed a figure beside him. His eyes narrowed and his face was filled with horror. Bam! In the next moment, a terrifying force shrouded him and wiped out all his vitality. At the same time, Wang Xian waved his arm and the destructive force of the 5 elements shrouded the surroundings. Oh no, run. Shit. At this moment, the surrounding experts from the orthodox god races were horrified and their eyes were filled with fear. The strength that Wang Xian had unleashed made them fearful. What? At this moment, everyone's expression changed drastically. That young man actually attacked. Moreover, how could his speed be so horrifying? That rank 5 venerable from the orthodox god races was instantly killed. Oh no, stop. Don't you dare cause trouble in the territory of the ancient sea race. When the experts at the back of the Jiu High race saw this scene, their expressions changed drastically as they roared loudly. Cause trouble in your territory? Ha. Wang Xian laughed hysterically. Swoosh. In the next moment, the horrifying energy swept across. No. No. Around him, the expressions of all the righteous god clans on the surrounding mountains changed drastically, and they were filled with shock. As the destructive force of the 5 elements swept across, everyone died instantly. Thousands of experts and disciples from the orthodox god races, including the strongest rank 5 venerable realm, were instantly killed. Until their deaths, they could not understand why such a terrifying existence suddenly appeared in the continental starry sky. How could anyone dare to kill them? They were the strongest force in the continental starry sky. Chapter 3283, SSS, How is this possible? This, all the experts from the orthodox god races were killed by him in an instant. What terrifying strength! How dare he? The combat strength of a rank 6 universe supremacy. His strength is at least that of a rank 6 universe supremacy. With such strength, why wouldn't he dare? The orthodox god races are about to disembark. After killing them, we will leave immediately. In the future, the orthodox god races won't be able to take revenge. The orthodox god races have met a tough opponent. When Wang Xian attacked in an instant and slaughtered a group of universe supremacies from the orthodox god clans, everyone was shocked. This was the orthodox god race, the strongest race in the continental encirclement starry sky. However, some people were also shocked by Wang Xian's strength and agreed with his actions. The orthodox god races were strong, but so what if they killed them? I will leave immediately after killing them. When the orthodox god races disembark on the chaotic continent, can't they take revenge on me? With the rules in place, the orthodox god races wouldn't dare to take revenge. In the auction just now, the orthodox god races were so domineering and disregarded their status because they were about to disembark and had no scruples. However, they had never expected to encounter a rank 6 universe supremacy expert. I wonder what the orthodox god races will do now? They can only blame themselves for being too greedy. He must have obtained a great opportunity to sell 3 acquired spiritual treasures. Although it's unexpected that he has such strength, it's not too surprising. The combat strength of a rank 6 universe supremacy is considered top-notch in our continental encirclement starry sky. The rest of the people in the auction hall continued to discuss. Stop. Stop for our ancient sea race. When the experts of the ancient sea race saw all the experts and disciples of the orthodox god races killed, their expressions changed drastically and they immediately shouted. This was the territory of the ancient sea race. The experts of the orthodox god races died here. If the orthodox god races blamed them, they would have to pay a huge price. More than 10 experts of the ancient sea race flew into the sky and shouted with bitter expressions. Around them, 20 galactic beasts roared in unison and a horrifying aura rushed over. Hee. When Wang Xian heard them, he waved his arm and collected the corpses of the thousands of experts from the orthodox god races. Then, he looked at the people from Jiu Hai's race with a stern expression. Just now, when the main god clans attacked first, why didn't you stop them? He said coldly, his eyes flashing with killing intent. He's very strong. It's not easy for us to deal with him. Let's delay him for a while. We don't even need to do anything. The experts of the righteous god clans will naturally come and destroy him. 10-odd ancient sea race elders hovered in the air. The old man in the lead transmitted his voice. Dear customer, everything that happened just now was too sudden. We naturally had to stop the one from the upright god clan. However, you are faster and stronger, the leading old man explained to Wang Xian after transmitting his voice. Oh, really? Wang Xian said coldly. Of course. You are our customer, and the others are also our customers. We naturally treat our customers equally. The old man continued with a smile. That's right. Customer, please calm down and calm down. The white-robed old man on the auction stage pursed his lips and said to him, Friend, we'll give you the items you've put up for auction as well as all your gains. Besides that, we'll also return the 3 acquired spiritual treasures to you. As an apology, we won't take any commission from you. Another old man said. Oh. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He squinted his eyes and said, Great. Give me all the items that I've submitted for auction immediately. Sure. Customer, please wait for a moment. We will prepare them for you immediately. The leading old man said immediately as he gestured to the other old man beside him. Ha! The entire army of the upright god clans is just around. Why isn't he leaving? If he doesn't leave now, he probably won't be able to leave even if he wants to. In the auction hall, everyone was shocked when they saw Wang Xian still waiting for the items they had submitted for auction. Hurry up. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and spoke plainly to the ancient sea race. Yes. Please wait for a moment. Customer, the number of items and divine stones involved is too huge. We will need tens of seconds. The white-robed old man on the auction stage replied immediately. Great. Wang Xian smiled faintly. What happened to the batch of experts and disciples that we sent to the ancient sea race? How did they get wiped out all of a sudden? At the same time, in the void not far from the ancient sea race's mainland, behind the grand upright god combat body in the center, there was a majestic palace. Inside the palace, 2 old men emitting golden light sensed that the spirit tablets of thousands of their clansmen in the sacred hall behind them had suddenly cracked. Their eyes narrowed. In order to prepare for this landing battle, the upright god clans had been preparing for hundreds of millions of years. Before they set off, all the spirit tablets of their clansmen had been transferred to this sacred hall. Once their clansmen died, they would be able to sense it immediately. They could even sense the level of their clansmen who died and the general direction of their deaths. All this was to prepare for the upcoming battle. However, they did not expect that thousands of their clansmen's spirit tablets would crack before the battle even started. Among them were a few rank 5 universe venerables from the clan. What? On the left and right sides of the palace, 28 figures shrouded in golden light were slightly shocked when they heard the words of the Laozu in front. 3 rank 5 universe venerables and over 2,000 clansmen were killed on the ancient sea race's mainland. Go and investigate. No matter who the murderer is, kill him, one of the 2 old men in the center said coldly. Yes. Immediately, 5 old men stood up on the left and right sides of the sacred hall. With a swift move, they turned into golden light and flew towards the ancient sea race's mainland. The landing battle is near. Don't let any accidents happen. The old man in the center continued plainly. Boom. Boom. In the void beside the army of the upright god clans, 5 golden figures flew rapidly towards the ancient sea race's main road. Their bodies were filled with an awe-inspiring killing intent. How dare they kill the disciples of the upright god clans at this time? They must be courting death. Heh! At this time, in the ancient sea race's auction hall, Wang Xian sensed 5 figures flying over. He curled his lips slightly and looked at the crowd from the ancient sea race. You guys are a little slow. These are the 3 acquired spiritual treasures that you put up for auction. These are the gains from the other items. As soon as he finished his sentence, an old man waved his arm and threw all the items towards Wang Xian. He sensed the position in front of him and his eyes flickered. Chapter 3284, Bam! 2 acquired spiritual treasures and 3 metal attribute acquired spiritual treasures flew into Wang Xian's hands. He extended his hand and held it in his hand to sense it. You guys really timed it well. His eyes flickered as he glanced at the 5 golden silhouettes that were flying in his direction and spoke plainly. This is not what we wanted to see. The old man leading the Jiu High race said with regret. Now that the orthodox god races are coming over aggressively, this is your territory. Don't you have anything to say about it? Wang Xian looked at them and asked plainly. I'm sorry. The orthodox god races are stronger than us. We can't do anything if they want to come over. The old man leading the Jiu High race shook his head. Who killed our people from the orthodox god races? At this moment, a voice filled with murderous intent was heard, accompanied by a horrifying golden radiance. Wang. In the next moment, a huge golden arms bowl appeared in the sky, and rays of golden radiance shrouded the area below. Oh no, it's a confinement-type acquired spiritual treasure. Let's dodge it. Oh no, it's too late. The area it covers is too wide. At this moment, all the experts in the auction hall were horrified as they quickly dodged to the side. Lords from the orthodox god races, this has nothing to do with the Jiu High race. When the experts from the Jiu High race saw the horrifying aura, their expressions changed slightly. Although there were 20 galactic beasts around them, they did not dare to act presumptuously in the face of the 5 rank 6 supremacies from the orthodox god races. Heh! The 5 rank 6 supremacies from the orthodox god races squinted their eyes and looked at Wang Xian. Who's the reckless one? The leading expert from the orthodox god races continued to ask with murderous intent. A horrifying aura swept across the auction hall. This customer had a conflict with the righteous god clans. The old man in white from the Jiu High race said hurriedly when he felt the horrifying aura. Hihi, very good. When Wang Xian saw the old man in white pointing at him, he revealed a smile. Courting death. You dare to kill our people from the orthodox god races? Die. The 5 rank 6 supremacies from the orthodox god clans locked onto Wang Xian. In the next instant, they moved and charged towards Wang Xian with terrifying aura. The 5 of them did not ask too many questions. In the entire continental encirclement starry sky, their righteous god race was the strongest existence. Even the second-ranked ancient sea race was far behind them. They had the strongest universe venerable level 7 experts in the continent encirclement galaxy. Therefore, when facing Wang Xian, they did not waste any time and killed him directly. Even if the opponent had the strength of a universe 6th order venerable. With the strength of the 5 of them, they could also kill it. What terrifying power! That expert is going to suffer. He didn't escape in time. He's in big trouble now. Even if he has the strength of a 6th order universe venerable, he's not a match for the 5 of the upright god clans. Let's retreat quickly. Don't get caught up in it. How can we be affected? 5 against 1, we should be able to quickly suppress and kill him. Everyone in the auction house discussed as they came to the edge of the Golden Arms Bowl. They did not have high hopes for Wang Xian. After all, based on the strength that Wang Xian had displayed, he was likely to be a universe 6th order venerable. Facing 5 existences of the same level alone, with the surrounding routes sealed, the possibility of him dying was very high. Going against the upright god clans, isn't he courting death? The experts of the ancient sea race thought to themselves coldly as they looked over. TSK. Wang Xian looked coldly at the 5 Tier 6 universe supremacies who were charging towards him. Die. In the next moment, the 5 experts from the upright god clans roared and launched a series of terrifying attacks towards Wang Xian. The upright god clans were good at close combat. At this moment, the 5 of them were about 50 kilometers away from him. At this distance, the 5 of them were confident that they could kill the other party in an instant. You're courting death. Wang Xian had a cold look on his face. At the instant when their attacks were about to hit, the Tai Chi dragon plate appeared around him. A Tai Chi shadow swept towards the 5 universe 6th order venerables in front of him. The Tai Chi dragon plate's strongest point was its defense. However, under Wang Xian's control, killing a universe 6th order venerable was a piece of cake. Wang. The Tai Chi dragon plate shadow flashed, and the terrifying golden radiance disappeared instantly. In the next moment, the power of yin and yang descended on their bodies, wiping out their vitality. What? He's not a universe 6th order venerable, he's a rank 7, SSS. How is this possible? Since when did a rank 7 universe venerable appear in our continental encirclement galaxy? At this moment, when everyone saw the 5 universe 6th order venerables from the upright god clans being killed in an instant, they felt their scalps go numb. Someone exclaimed in disbelief. How was this possible? However, when they saw the 5 corpses floating in the air, they had no choice but to believe it. A universe 7th order venerable. In the continental encirclement galaxy, this was considered a pinnacle existence. The only known universe 7th order venerables were the 2 from the upright god clans. Since when did another one appear? And it was someone that no one knew? How is this possible? All the experts from the upright god clans were shocked when they saw this. A bunch of trash, how dare you provoke me? Wang Xian said in disdain. With a wave of his arm, he kept the 5 corpses. Gulp. Seeing the 5 universe 6th order venerables being killed in an instant, everyone from the upright god clans swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings, landing on the experts from the upright god clans. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. When all the experts from the upright god clans saw Wang Xian looking over, their hearts tightened. The leading old man hurriedly bowed and said. His forehead was drenched in cold sweat. A universe 7th order venerable was no longer someone that the upright god clans could afford to offend. I declare that the upright god clans shall be annihilated. Wang Xian stared at them and said calmly. Unrelated people, leave immediately, he continued. When he finished his sentence, he was already in front of the experts from the upright god clans. Everyone was shocked when they heard this, and their faces were filled with horror. Especially the experts from the upright god clans. The other party wanted to annihilate them, the upright god clans. How? How could this be? Chapter 3285, SSS. This lord wants to annihilate the GU high race. His strength is too horrifying. He killed 5 rank 6 universe supremacies in an instant. Even among the rank 7 universe supremacies, he's probably one of the stronger ones. The GU high race is in deep trouble this time. They've kicked an iron plate. They're going to face a huge disaster this time. The GU high race deserves it. This lord held an auction here and was suppressed by the orthodox god races. They didn't say anything. When the orthodox god races attacked this lord, they didn't stop them. Instead, this lord attacked them. They spoke up to stop them, obviously thinking that he's a pushover. They even pointed out that this lord was the one who said it. Great, now they've completely angered him. Retreat, retreat, retreat. The GU high race is going to have a good time next. Everyone in the auction hall immediately flew away when they heard Wang Xian's words. The golden light released by the arms bowl disappeared after the rank 6 universe supremacy was killed. They all flew up to the sky to avoid being implicated. Everyone looked at GU High's group with mockery on their faces. They had seen the scene just now. The GU High race was obviously afraid of the orthodox god races and had intentionally bullied that lord. However, they didn't expect this lord's strength to be so terrifying. The GU High race had kicked an iron plate. Rumble. At the same time, in the temple in the center of the orthodox god race army, the two elders on the seats in the center of the hall suddenly stood up at this moment. Their expressions were extremely ugly. Third elder and the other four are dead. How is this possible? Third elder and the other four are rank 6 universe supremacies. They even have treasures. What happened? What the hell happened? In front of them, the 20 over rank 6 venerables immediately stood up, their expressions extremely ugly. They could feel the spirit tablets of third elder and the other four shattering. This meant that the 5 of them were dead. Moreover, they were killed in an instant. In an instant, 5 rank 6 universe supremacies were killed. Who was the culprit? How strong was the culprit? Damn it, such a thing actually happened at this time. The two elders from the upright god clans looked extremely embarrassed. They moved and instantly rushed out of the temple. 5 level 6 venerables were instantly killed. This was definitely not something a level 6 venerable could do. Now that the righteous god races were embarking, they had reached a critical juncture. But now, a mysterious existence had appeared, continuously killing many of their experts. This made their hearts burn with rage. At the same time, they had a bad feeling in their hearts. Go. Seeing the two patriarchs fly out, the rest of the rank 6 venerables followed closely behind. A bunch of reckless fools, die. In the auction hall of the ancient sea race, Wang Xian waved his arm. A wave of 5 elements power of annihilation shrouded the group of venerables from the ancient sea race. Given his current strength, there was no need for him to use the peerless sacred wings or the 5 elements grind. Facing this group of strongest 5th order venerables, he could kill them easily. The 5 elements power of destruction swept towards the 10-odd venerates of the ancient sea race. At this moment, the 10-odd venerables of the ancient sea race turned pale, their eyes filled with despair. Under Wang Xian's terrifying speed, they had no way of dodging. No, no, Lord, don't kill us. It's our ancient sea race's fault. Don't kill us. Terrified voices came out of their mouths as they begged for mercy. How could they have imagined that this young man before them would be so terrifying? There were only a few rank 7 venerables in the surrounding continent, yet they had encountered one. How could they be so unlucky? Keek. Wang Xian sneered. The river of annihilation swept past their bodies and immediately melted them. At this moment, the surrounding 20 galactic beasts roared as they stared coldly at Wang Xian. Rumble. Who dares to cause trouble here? The huge commotion immediately alerted one of the rank 6 venerables of the ancient sea race in the depths of the continent. He moved and instantly appeared at the side of the auction hall. Wong wong wong. At this moment, the entire ancient sea race's continent was filled with anxious noises. Upon hearing the noises, the experts and disciples of the ancient sea race's continent quickly flew over. Die. Wang Xian swept his gaze across. Instantly, countless blood-red chains appeared around him. The chains attacked the surrounding galactic beasts and the rank 6 venerables. Oh no! The rank 6 venerables of the ancient sea race, who had just flown out, was horrified when he saw the terrifying blood-red chains. The blood-red chains made him feel as though he was facing great terror. Boom! He hurriedly launched an attack, continuously attacking the blood-red chain. However, his speed was still too slow. His attack power landed on the blood-red chain, but it had no effect at all. Oh no, galactic beasts, attack! The old man from the ancient sea race roared with bloodshot eyes when he sensed the terrifying attack. Lord, how did we offend you? Why are you attacking us? Following which, he roared anxiously. You'll have to ask the ancient sea race. Wang Xian replied sternly. In the next instant, the blood-red chains arrived before the galactic beasts. The starry sky beasts let out furious roars. Terrifying hurricanes gathered around them and charged towards the chains. Fart! Fart! However, to everyone's horror, the chains penetrated the bodies of the galactic beasts easily. The blood-red chains were like life-reaping chains. The galactic beasts could not resist at all. The horrifying chains penetrated the bodies of 20 galactic beasts. The galactic beasts let out agonizing cries as the 20 galactic beasts writhed in pain in the void. Oh no! How did those damned guys offend such a horrifying existence? The rank 6 venerables of the ancient sea race roared furiously when he saw the blood-red chains surrounding him. How did those damned trash from the ancient sea race offend such an enemy? Fart! Fart! At this moment, Wang Xian did not show any mercy. He swung the chains and charged towards all the galactic beasts and the rank 6 venerables. Chapter 3286. No. Oh oh. Oh oh. Screams could be heard. One of the 20 mastiff beasts was a rank 6 universe supremacy. It was an old rank 6 universe supremacy. He died instantly under Wang Xian's chain attack. That old rank 6 universe supremacy did not even have the chance to escape. Logically speaking, a rank 6 universe supremacy should have a high chance of escaping and returning to his own holy kingdom when facing a rank 7 universe supremacy. However, Wang Xian was not a rank 7 universe supremacy. Now, he could even kill a universe venerable with the combat power of a level 8 universe venerable. Coupled with the universal locking dragon eyes attack, a rank 6 universe supremacy could not even dream of escaping. Screams could be heard. As the strongest attack of the GU high race, the 20 mastiff beasts were killed instantly. That was a total of 20 mastiff beast. There were only over 100 mastiff beasts in the entire GU high race. Now, 20 of them were killed. This was a huge loss to the GU high race. However, the GU high race could not care less about such losses at this point. Oh no, our GU high race has offended a powerful being. One of our Laozu was killed, and so were the 20 mastiff beasts. This is not something we can resist. Run and report to the Patriarch immediately. That person is so strong. We can't defeat him. Run. At this moment, experts in other parts of the GU high race continent heard the alarm and flew over. When they saw the 20-star behemoths and their Patriarch being killed, their faces were filled with shock and horror. Without any hesitation, they fled into the distance. Some of them were even prepared to flee back to their own holy kingdoms. Buzz buzz. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings with a sinister look in his eyes. With a wave of his arm, the 5 elements grindstone appeared and swept across the surroundings. A grayish river of destruction swept across the surroundings at a terrifying speed. The river of destruction contained a horrifying aura that engulfed the entire galaxy at a terrifying speed. When everyone sensed this terrifying energy, their faces were filled with shock. Oh no, run! 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 Some universe venerables sensed the terrifying speed of the river and shouted in horror. Some experts who wanted to run back to their divine kingdoms paled. The Annihilation River was simply too fast. What kind of power is this? Up in the sky, the group of universe venerables in the auction hall felt their scalps go numb when they saw Wang Xian's terrifying attack. After the river of annihilation swept past them, they felt as if even the starry sky had fallen silent. The area that was swept by this energy seemed to have become a dead zone. Buzz buzz. The terrifying energy swept through everything within a radius of more than 1 billion kilometers. None of the ancient sea race experts rushing over managed to escape this horrifying attack. The energy swept over, and their corpses floated in the air. With one strike, 80% of the GU high race's experts on this continent instantly died. Hiss. Looking at this terrifying attack, everyone around sucked in a breath of cold air. Their eyes were filled with shock. This is. At the same time, in the void not far away, 2 golden light spots flew over rapidly. Behind them were more than 20 figures shrouded in golden light. When the 2 patriarchs of the Orthodox God race at the front saw this horrifying attack, they were filled with fear. This is at least the attack power of a rank 7 universe venerable. Moreover, I can feel the threat of death from this attack. One of the golden light spots stopped instantly. He stared ahead with a grave expression and an awful look. He's very strong. Damn it. Why did such an expert appear out of nowhere? How did we, the Orthodox God race, offend him? The other patriarch of the Orthodox God race also stopped and growled in a low voice. They had actually encountered such a strong enemy when they were about to disembark. This was simply bad news for the Orthodox god race. If the other party launched a sneak attack on them when they were about to disembark, they might fall short of success or even suffer great losses. After all, the race they were challenging this time was not weak. They should have the fighting power of a rank 7 universe venerable. Patriarch. Patriarch, what should we do? At this time, more than 20 rank 6 venerables flew over. They looked at the terrifying energy in front of them, and their faces were filled with fear. This aura was at least that of a rank 7 universe venerable. Patriarch, they dared to kill Third Elder and the rest. Let's kill them. Our entire army is here. What's there to be afraid of? Let's wipe them out. A burly old man bellowed with killing intent. Idiot. The 2 old men in the lead barked furiously at him. Ganging up on a level 7 venerable, the righteous god race indeed had the ability to destroy him. However, would the other party wait for them to attack? The other party would have already escaped before the army arrived. Next, they would have to disembark. By then, if the other party attacked from behind, the Orthodox god race would suffer immeasurable losses. They might even fail to disembark. Patriarch, what should we do now? The leader of the Orthodox god race asked solemnly. They were in deep trouble now. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone around him fell silent. What should they do? There were 2 ways. One was to seek peace with the other party. If their people died, so be it. Their priority was to disembark. The second way was to fight the other party. However, if they fought the other party, it would mean that they might have to give up this disembark. After giving up, they would have to wait 100 million years for another disembark. This was the rule of the disembark. After all, they had to give up at the last minute. 100 million years was a long time for the Orthodox god race. Who are you? Aren't you afraid of our revenge after killing so many of our people and experts from the Orthodox god race? At this moment, an infuriated roar came from the main road of the ancient sea race. Down below, an old man bellowed at Wang Xian, who was hovering in the sky. Ha ha ha. Revenge on me. In that case, the Dragon Palace will annihilate all the ancient sea race and the Orthodox god race. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with murderous intent when he heard the voice from below. He waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone enlarged and attacked the land below. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace? All the experts from the Orthodox god race were incomparably gloomy when they heard this.